it may have been his final game ever in the NBA. His previous bouts with cocaine carried over into this season.
That first night that I set him down, we had a ball game, and I remember Elijah wouldn't talk to me. He thought I was being so unfair to John, but it wasn't tough really as you'd think, because I knew that if we didn't do this, John was going to really be in deep trouble, and he was going to, you know, he might lose his family.
I'm not the same guy I was 2.5 years ago. I wouldn't have signed me either. I would have never said those things either about me. But I'm not that person today, and that's different.
How did you play once you were sober? I mean, really sober. How did it affect your game?
The love of the game. You want me to be really honest?
I do.
When I got to the pros, basketball became a business. I didn't see the love of the game. It was a business. I was very much a version coming up that everybody was about winning championships. Not everybody's about winning championships. It's a business. I was so disillusioned once I got there, and it took the fun out. When I went back to play, I wasn't gonna go back. I had started treatment centers, and I'm working on these programs. And they come and talk to me about coming to play with the Bucks. Now, I haven't played 9 months, 6 or 8 months. Now I'm not gonna play no basketball. And it took me 3 weeks to go back to play once they called me. I said, we're out of time. And I'll never forget Coach Nelson saying to me, he said, you know what? You can't hide forever. And what are you afraid of? So I went back, went up there, and my first game I had like 16 points that year in the first game back. And then I got the chance to play against the Rockets, and we beat them out of a very good game, like 30 points that game. I had a different perspective. I had regained my love. I had gotten me back. You know, how people talk about being born again. Drugs and alcohol was my rebirth. I went and saw the devil on March 14th, and I came back. And from that point on, I was on a journey to find out who I was. When I went back to go play with the Bucks, I must have got 150 or 200 chips or letters from people who had been following my story. And people would walk behind the bench and they would make comments that are said in recovery, like, easy does it, one day at a time. You know, think, first things first. And all of those comments stayed with me. So I was the first player to admit to having a problem, but I also came up with a solution to my problem to help other players. I have a disease, and people have to understand that it's a disease. I hope that I can help educate people of the disease that I have. I am a very scared person. I understand the risk is great to me. The risk isn't very great to a team, but the risk is great to John Lucas.
How did you deal with temptation? I'm sure you had guys come at you and say, hey, John, I'll get you back.
You know what? I told you something happened. I haven't had, by the grace of God, a desire so far in 27 years to go back to March 14th. God's blessed me not to be able to be. I've been there with people who are still using the work that I do to help other people, but I found people dead. I've been on house calls where people with guns in there. I had to go get them and try to help them get themselves sober. But I've never been where I wanted that pain again. I don't want you to be where I was on March 12th and 13th. I don't want anybody to have that pain.
When you're able to work with an addict, be it a pro athlete that people have read about or somebody that nobody knows about, and you can see them make that change, What does that bring you?
Joy. Joy. And then when I see people who don't get it, I go, for the grace of God, there go I. You know, normally when you get my disease, you lose it all. You end up in 3 places: jail, institutions, or you die.
What do you think saved you?
What saved me was, 1, a lot of people loving me back to myself. And then 2, learning to love myself. Because I went from here to back to here. And I'm telling you, I'm very honest with myself. I'm always under self-examination as to reason what my motives are. You know, I have to check my motives when I don't get what I want. And now what I'm realizing at almost 60 is that, you know, life's still moving, with or without me. One of my biggest fears was having to stop playing sports. One of the other biggest fears I had after stop playing sports was age. I hate getting older because I know there's an end coming. So when you talk about my disease, an addiction wasn't my problem. Life was my problem. I couldn't live life on life's terms. All the sports, all the things I could do, I still wasn't happy. I didn't know who I was. And who are you? I play basketball. No, that's what you do. Who are you? I enjoy basketball. No, that's what you do. Who are you? I didn't know who I was. I was either a basketball or a tennis guy. A husband. What's a husband? Who are you? I'm a husband. What's that?
And who are you now?
Well, you know what I found out? I'm a coach. I want to be of service.
If you could do it all over again and not take that first snort of cocaine, would you?
No. I have to take the first snort.
Why?